Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Zebra Marketing Show. Today, we're going to talk about getting leads. How do you get those leads in the door so that you can nurture them into customers? And, we marketers like to sort of think of this as we call it lead magnets. And what we mean is, what can we offer someone that would be incredibly valuable enough for them to say, hey, let me get this. Let me request this. I think this is going to help me. And then in doing that, they get on our marketing list. And so then we're able to continue the conversation and continue nurturing them into, until it's time to become a custom appointment or a consultation or a call with us, so that we can give them even more value and show them how we can help them even more. All right. So, what we're going to talk about today is the ever changing landscape of digital marketing and complimentary offers. I like to use the word complimentary and not free, because people, in their minds, when you say free, they think, oh, something has no value. No such thing as a free lunch. So in their mind, they're thinking, oh, they're going to try and sell me stuff. There's no such thing as free. So I like to use the word complimentary and actually really make sure that it adds value. But in today's landscape, the problem is we have such a busy online environment going on, people's attention span, that we really have a very limited amount of time to get someone's attention, first of all, and add value to their lives. So, trying to offer people something that's going to take a week for them to get the value, not really the name of the game anymore. And you're also competing against other people's stuff. So, part of the evaluation people are making in their mind is this going to help me? And how long is it going to take me to get the result? And, if we can make that result instantaneous, it makes them, really like, okay, you know, this is going to give me what I'm looking for. It's going to help me solve my problem, and I'm going to get the result right away. So, yeah, let me go ahead and get that. Whereas you're like, hey, why don't you download this PDF? And then you have to read it, and then you have to go through 10 steps, and then people start to lose attention, or they perhaps download it and never actually open it, or all of these things. So in the age of AI, the exciting thing is we can make the value that they get instantaneous. So, they're immediately getting the value when they engage, rather than having to wait or having to receive an email and then download something, or, all these different things. So let's talk a little about that today. My name's Laura Camrath. I am CEO of Zebra Marketing. We see businesses who have valuable products and services, but they need a way of reaching people who need their help. We build modern marketing systems to help them reach more people, generate more sales. All right. Let me see. Microphone. Hopefully it's working. Okay. All right. So if this conversation today is helpful for you and you're finding value in it, I would appreciate if you would drop a comment, drop your questions in the comments. I'll be back to answer questions later on. And if you know somebody who this conversation will be helpful for, definitely share it with them. And, just helps us grow our community and engage better as a community. All right. Now let's jump into the conversation. And I apologize here. You're going to get an infinity mirror of window in a moment, but I'll try and jump over as quick as I can into the presentation. All right. Hang on a minute. Okay. So, why most lead magnets fail and how to create ones that convert. Your complimentary offer isn't competing with another PDF, it's competing with your prospect's time. So, they're evaluating whether they really want to spend the time to engage with this, engage with you and your offer. So, what actually is a lead magnet? This might be a kind of a marketing jargon term for you. What does that really mean? A lead magnet is something valuable you offer in exchange for being being beginning the sorry in exchange for beginning a conversation with a potential customer, not just collecting an email address but demonstrating value from the very first interaction. So I'm sure you must have experienced this before. Even just say you go to, I don't know, gap.com, you're going shopping for clothes or something, or Macy's.com or whatever. Do people go to Macy's anymore? I don't know. But, you go to a website, a little pop up comes up and says, get 20% off your first purchase, enter your email address. Well, hey, if you're actually planning on buying something that day, and you're looking for something, a pair of jeans, and you think they're going to have it and you're going to buy it, then you're probably going to enter your email address and get that 20% off coupon. So it was a lead magnet because now you are going into that company's marketing list and you're aware that that's what's happening. Nobody's blind to that idea. We all know if we put our email address in there that they're probably going to give us some emails. So people understand that, this is something that's being given in exchange for, them becoming part of your marketing list. They understand that. But, most of us have experienced that in some capacity. And, if we want that thing badly enough, we're willing to give our contact information in exchange for it. So the trick is making sure that what we offer truly adds value and adds value quickly without them having to put in a bunch of effort to receive the value, without them having to wait for a bunch of time or spend a bunch of time. So, common formats that we tend to see in the business realm: guides or reports, checklists or templates, calculators or estimators, assessments or audits, benchmarks or scorecards, AI powered tools. And the real goal is not about capturing contact information. Yes, that is what we want to do, but what we really, above anything else, want to do is help the buyer make meaningful progress. We want them to get closer to solving their problem in a meaningful way before they ever speak with your sales team. Because just like when you go into HEB or Kroger or whatever grocery store you go to, and see they're giving little samples and they're, oh, you can have a little bite of cheese. They're not just giving you a bite of cheese because they think you look hungry. They're giving you a bite of cheese because then you're going to say, wow, that was pretty good. Let me get a little container of that. And then you walk out with, a $6 container of cheese from giving you like a 2-cent taste of it. So, that's what you want to do. You want to give them a little piece of cheese. And, you're not giving them like a watered down version of the cheese. You're giving them the actual cheese. You want to give them your best stuff. Because at the end of the day, even if, say for me, for example, I run a digital marketing agency. Even if I told you exactly how to build XYZ website or exactly how to set up a particular marketing campaign, then you're going to say, oh, wow, I know how to do this now. And this is really not something I want to spend my time doing. And so then, you're going to hire me or your client is going to hire you and your team because, they don't want to do it themselves. They're going to see what's required. They're going to get closer to solving their problem. They're going to see how you're able to help them get that problem solved. And the trust is going to be built. And then they're going to say, hey, you know what? Can you help me with this? So you want to give them your best stuff and don't be shy about giving them too much. I mean, certainly don't give away the farm, but you want to give them enough to get a result and feel like, wow, this really was helpful. All right. Why do we use lead magnets? Think about your own buying behavior. Before you make an important decision, you rarely just jump straight into a vendor conversation. You research, you explore, you want to feel confident before you commit. So, more confidence, buyers want to feel certain before they engage with sales. So, buyers these days, especially, they really want to pretty much have their mind made up before they even talk to a sales team. Like the last thing anyone wants to do these days is talk to a human being for, that's just where we're at now in the digital age. So they want to feel like they did all the research themselves and they made the decision. And then when they feel like they know that they want to work with you, or maybe they have a very particular specific question about how you can work together, at that point, they'll reach out to sales. But you want to give them as much as you can to help build that trust, help them feel certain about their decision before they have to talk to your sales team. Then you want to give them more clarity. And a focused offer cuts through confusion and helps buyers understand their situation more precisely. So specificity matters. Don't give them like, hey, we're going to give you a guide with 500 different steps you need to do to get this result. You want to, or, get like the entire result. You want to pick like one problem, pick one part of that whole end result that they're looking for. Pick one specific part and give them a quick win. Give them one quick win for one specific thing. And, that works out better because they can get that result quickly. They can see how much value you added in that particular area. And then they're going to say, well, if they can do, this in that area, then I wonder what they can do in the other areas. And then, better options, great lead magnets help buyers evaluate their path forward, positioning your team as the obvious guide. Just like, the little piece of cheese positions that cheese as the obvious thing to buy that day at the grocery store. When they get an experience that is positive and they say, hey, this was really good, this really helped. Wow, this team must really know what they're doing and they can help us. And a lot of us may be experiencing, it seems like just our lead magnets aren't working or people aren't downloading them or it's just not happening. So the problem isn't that um you know that our lead magnet isn't any good or what we're offering isn't any good, but buyer expectations have shifted dramatically. So even just in the past couple years, we had COVID going on. People were out in their, stuck in their houses and things went very digital. A lot more noise came into the digital realm. Companies started sending more email because they couldn't get in front of people in person. And then they haven't stopped doing that. And, they're offering the things that we were offering before may not be working now. And so offering a generic white paper with broad untargeted advice, or just, hey, read about how it worked for someone, case studies. Case studies are great, but the problem with a case study is it's really a reason to believe that you're going to give someone results. It's not giving them actual value. So case studies and white papers are important. Those are critical as reasons to believe that you're going to give someone the results that you're promising. And it helps, when somebody reads white papers or a case study, it helps them imagine, oh, this is what it's going to be like to work with this company, and this is how they got results for someone else. But it doesn't give them, particular value that they can actually get it and say, hey, this really worked out well for us. This was pretty helpful. And that's the feeling you want to give them. You want them to say, wow, these guys really did a good job with this. This was helpful. Oh, I get it. I get what they're going to do for us. Um, so you don't want to be offering that as, a gated thing where they have to put in their contact details to get it. Oftentimes, with B2B companies, we want to make the case studies and white papers widely available, unless the white paper is something that um, is going to give them, valuable information about how to solve something in their company in particular. If it's just validating your services that, you're getting some really good results, maybe you just want to make that available on your website as a reason to believe you guys do what you say you're going to do. And then long form reports that take hours to read. Just nobody wants to sit there reading something for hours. So if it's not quick and easy to consume, it's probably not the right choice. And then wide scope ebooks covering too many topics. Again, we want to solve one specific particular topic, not a broad range of topics discussed in an ebook fashion. We want to give one quick win on one specific issue. And then if the content is easily found with a quick search, if they can go to ChatGPT or they can go to Google and they can find the content that you're offering, then why would they give their contact details in exchange for it? Other than they're just like incredibly lazy. But, buyer expectations have fundamentally changed. They expect speed, relevance, and personalization, not a 40-page generic PDF that ends up in a downloaded folder and they never open it. So if we can give them that quick win, make it personalized, and give it to them now, that is going to win out all day long. Okay, your competition has changed. Years ago, your lead magnet competed with another company's guide. Today, it competes with a far more crowded attention landscape, and the bar is significantly higher. And again, imagine your prospective customer has like the attention span of a goldfish these days. Like you have like maybe 5 to 15 seconds to get their interest, because we're just so busy these days. I don't know about you, but I'm getting like text spams all day long. I'm getting things in my inbox I didn't request. Like and like I cannot pay attention to all of it. And the same is happening with your prospective customers. Like their online environment is overcrowded, and we as humans, we were not designed to get pinged with like I think they said there's something like 20,000 pings a day of things that are coming into our realm that are like advertising, or there's something or other, and we were not as humans designed to process that level of information. So we can only pay attention to so much at a time. And, so the competition is now AI assistants like ChatGPT and similar tools, search engines where, they can just go to Google and search for whatever they're looking for, video content. They can go to YouTube or LinkedIn, find free tutorials, find all kinds of stuff that, can help them solve their problem. Busy schedules, we're just all busy. It's not that we don't want to pay attention, we just can't many times. So, if your offer doesn't earn attention instantly, it can be lost. So if someone can get a generic answer in seconds, why would they download your PDF? So, not to say that there might not potentially be an opportunity where somebody would want to download a PDF, but these days it's just like everybody knows, oh, they're offering a free PDF download. You know, it's just not what people are really looking for anymore. So buyers don't want just more information. The information isn't the problem. Information overload is. So they're not asking, can someone teach me more? They're asking, can someone help me solve this very specific problem? They don't want to get in there and learn all about how to do it for the most part. They just want to get it done. And so if you can just help them get it done and help them get it done quick, fast, and in a hurry, you're going to win every time. All right. From information to progress. The most important shift in modern lead magnet strategy isn't about format, it's about intent. The goal isn't to educate someone for 45 minutes. The goal is to help them achieve one meaningful result in 5. So the old approach would be download our guide or deliver some information, and it goes into an inbox and then they never open it and they never get the value, because if they never open it, they're not going to get the value. And if it goes into their inbox, they're probably never going to open it, because they will get to their inbox and say, oh, Billy needs this report and Jim needs a meeting and this client, blah, blah, and they're going to say, oh, the absolute lowest priority is downloading this guide. The modern approach, how do we do it today? Let's solve one problem together. Deliver a quick win. Earn trust immediately. Give them the results immediately. Start a real conversation. Once they get into engaging with your lead magnet, get them booked into a call immediately. So, it started out with what we used to do is hey, let's give them some valuable information. And it would be an online form, and they fill it out and they put in their email address, and then we tell them to check their email, and we just emailed it to you, and then they go check their email, and then they're supposed to download it, and they're supposed to read it, and they're supposed to consume it, and they're supposed to then get the value. But it's just too much of a runaround now, even though it doesn't seem that difficult, does it? But but in reality, you lose people in that process. It's just too much for people in this really super busy digital age. And so what we want is help people to progress to their desired end result and help them do that quick, fast, and in a hurry. We want to give them immediate results where possible. Think like your customer. A cybersecurity leader isn't browsing for a 50-page strategy guide. They're dealing with real urgent business concerns, and your offer needs to meet them there. So they're asking, are we vulnerable? Leaders want a fast read on their current exposure, not a textbook on threats. How prepared are we? They want a benchmark, not a lecture on best practices. Where are our biggest risks? Prioritization matters more than comprehensiveness. And what should we do first? They need clear next steps, not more homework. Your complimentary offer should answer one of those questions precisely and immediately. And you want to solve one specific problem. The best lead magnets are incredibly focused. They're not broad surveys of a topic, but sharp, specific tools that address one pain point with one clear deliverable, one problem, one solution, one quick win. Not a range of problems. Not, hi, we're going to solve 5 problems for you in this guide. Give them one problem, give them one solution, and one quick win. And then they will say, because then they'll actually consume it. They'll actually get the value. If they have to do a bunch of work or do a bunch of reading or it takes them a week, they're not going to get the value. So, some examples in different industries: cybersecurity, a ransomware exposure assessment, a cyber insurance readiness check, a NIST readiness assessment. In IT services, downtime cost calculator, a Microsoft, that's going to tell them how, if my system goes down, how much is it going to cost me that downtime? Microsoft 365 security review, and a backup recovery confidence score. Um, Oil and gas and operational risk assessment, a maintenance readiness score, a field safety compliance check. There's all kinds of things you can do that can give them quick value and a quick win. So, personalization also creates value. It, builds trust because it's just for them. So, generic advice obviously feels generic. So, if every time you deliver it as the same, stuff, let's see how can we personalize this? How can we ask for their information, their numbers, their range of, whatever it is, so that the result feels valuable to them specifically. And the difference isn't just cosmetic, it's the gap between content that gets ignored and content that drives action. So if you tell them, hey, here are the 3 biggest security gaps we found based on your answers, that's particularly relevant to them. It's not just like, here's some cool ideas that you might think are cool. No, it's like, we're giving you actual feedback on your specific thing. So now the experience feels relevant. It feels like it was built for them, because obviously it was. And people pay closer attention when the information is specifically about their situation, their organization, and their risks. Personalization gets attention. We're going to tell you specifically. We're going to be the doctors and diagnose your problem for you. We're not going to just tell you about problems that some people may have. We're going to tell you if you have the problem. So you want to tailor the answers, be specific about their context, and then it will be impossible to dismiss. So how do we do that? Well, AI has changed what's possible dramatically. And until recently, it's, creating truly personalized recommendations required hours of expert analysis and like personal human touch. And, that just made it impractical to scale. Like if the human has to calculate and crunch the numbers, then, the immediacy factor is kind of gone. So AI has eliminated that barrier entirely. So we can now give instant analysis. AI processes responses in real time, delivering insights the moment a visitor completes their assessment. And it gives personalized recommendations. Every output is tailored to the specific inputs, making each experience feel custom built. And then prioritized next steps. AI surfaces what matters most, giving buyers a clear, confident path forward. And then tailored reports and policies. Draft policies, custom reports, and structured deliverables generated in seconds. So we can actually train an AI that, can be trained on the back end of how to make a particular analysis, which, if this is our business, if this is what we do all day long, then we should know how to make that particular analysis or give that particular result. And so we can take our knowledge of how we typically do that and train an AI with it. And then the AI can, be enabled to make those analyses for us, give personal recommendations like we would give them for us. And so the immediacy is there. They put in their numbers, they put in their answers, whatever it is, and boom, they get the results after they give you their contact information, so that now they are part of your marketing list. So you have given them something of incredible value that's personalized to them immediately when they are paying attention, and they are now part of your marketing list. So now you can continue marketing to them. Even better, you can set up an AI chat agent that can immediately engage them when they download that resource or when they make that interaction and engage with your lead magnet instant analysis or AI, whatever you set up. And it can immediately engage them in a chat conversation once they get that result and book them into a call with your sales team. They have gotten the result, they have seen the value immediately. And now you can say, hey, you've seen a little bit of how we work with people. Would you like how to speak to one of our sales team and see how this is going to work for your company? And we can give you even more information, and we can do a human personal analysis and conversation, and talk about your goals and how we can help you meet them, how we can help you solve your problems. So if you notice in that interaction, it has been squeezed down from like, hey, download this thing, go check your email, download the report, or request the thing, go check your email, download the report, read the report, try and get the thing, it's not personalized. It just, that is done. There's just, it's kind of, it's just too long, and it doesn't work for people anymore because you lose them. And so doing it this way, you squeeze that interaction into a very short timeline, and you compress it so you don't lose their attention. And that's kind of why this is working better than the old sort of tried and true methods. And you can make it feel like a product. The best complimentary offers don't feel like marketing. They are genuinely useful, and they feel genuinely useful. Like a product somebody would pay for, only it's free. So that shift in perception changes everything about how a prospect views your brand. So what could it look like? Imagine visiting a website and immediately receiving something actionable: a personalized security score with gap analysis, a compliance readiness report benchmarked to your industry, a downtime cost estimate based on your team size, a risk assessment with prioritized recommendations. The brand impact is when your free offer feels like a premium SaaS tool. Prospects don't just remember your content, they remember your company. That's a fundamentally different positioning than another PDF in a downloads folder. So that's something people remember and they talk about. And you want to create momentum. So don't try to solve every problem. Create one meaningful win. Just one. Pick one problem and help them solve it. And help them solve it quick. Give them a quick win. Let them do the heavy lifting. When a visitor leaves your experience feeling like they already got something valuable, the psychology of the conversation shifts entirely. So a meaningful quick win. A visitor solves one specific problem in minutes, not hours, not weeks, not days, in minutes. They build genuine trust. It's, I already learned something valuable here. That feeling creates credibility no ad can buy, no download can produce. So, getting something right away that they say, wow, I get how they help people. I get the value. Builds trust. And then natural conversation. Trust creates openness. Openness creates conversations. Conversations create customers. When they say, wow, that's pretty amazing how they just helped me solve that problem just like that. They're like, wow, I wonder, maybe I should talk to them and see, what else they can do, because this was pretty awesome. And then the journey doesn't end there. So here's where AI fundamentally changes the buyer experience. The conversation doesn't stop when someone completes your assessment. That's the beginning. It continues automatically, intelligently, and helpfully. So they complete the assessment. The visitor answers questions about their situation. They get immediate personalized recommendations delivered. So they get it right away. AI instantly generates tailored insights and prioritized next steps. Then the questions are answered in real time. AI responds to follow up questions immediately, no waiting, no forms. So you can immediately engage them with a chat AI. They've just they've just engaged with your lead magnet, whatever it is. They've just gotten their results. They're right now saying, wow, that's pretty amazing. And now you say, hey, let's hop into a quick conversation. Um, this is how we help people. Do you have any questions? Okay, you're wondering about this, you're wondering about that. Great. Like, here's the answers to those questions. Here's where to find that information. Would you like to hop on a call with one of our sales team to see how we can do this personally on a bigger scale for your company? And so then, say the person does book the call, then you can do automated follow-up to make sure that they show up. If the person doesn't book the call, you can do automated follow-up, 1 hour, 24 hours, 48 hours. Follow back up. Maybe they were like sitting at the doctor's office and they just got called in when they were in the middle of the chat. That doesn't necessarily mean they weren't interested. It just was not a good time right now. And so following up automatically afterwards, and ensuring that they get followed up with like 3 times and that it's done automatically without a human having to remember to do it, because unfortunately we as humans, we are busy, we have other priorities, we have lives, and we just don't always do it consistently. So then it's routed to the right team member. The qualified opportunities land with the right person. They're booked into a call with your sales team. If not, then you can ping them with a notification. Hey, this person opted in for our lead magnet, but they didn't book a call even after follow-up. Maybe they want to go talk to them, drop by their office. I don't know. But now you have that information and you know that. So the new buyer experience. So the gap between yesterday's lead magnet journey and today's AI-powered experience isn't incremental, it's transformational. And technology now supports the buyer throughout the entire journey, not just at the top of the funnel. So yesterday we would visit the website, download a PDF, receive an email sequence, and then hope that they actually sort of download it and consume it and hopefully get some value, and hopefully they then engage with us. Today, it looks a little bit more like, hey, they visit the website, they complete an interactive AI experience as a lead magnet, they receive immediate personalized value, they get their questions answered immediately, instantly, they get booked into a meeting, they receive helpful follow-up, and they start a real sales conversation. And especially if you're running digital ads, or if you're running SEO and you're paying money for traffic, then making sure that you have the right lead magnets in place is critical, because if not, then you could be wasting a lot of money. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be pouring water into a leaky bucket. You want to plug those holes. Make sure that if you're paying for traffic, that they are being given something of great value that they can engage with immediately, and you can get the value out of that ad spend or SEO budget. So 5 characteristics of great lead magnets. 1, solve one specific problem, not a range of problems. Pick one. Focus beats broad every time. A sharp offer converts better than a comprehensive one. And then deliver one quick win. Give the buyer something they can act on immediately, not next quarter. Then personalize the experience. Tailored outputs create relevance. Relevance creates engagement. Engagement creates trust. Build trust, demonstrate expertise before asking for anything. Let your offer do the selling. Create a natural next step. A great lead magnet makes the follow up conversation feel obvious and welcome. So we like to call that in marketing win gap. So you give them a win, but it leaves a gap. So, like, hey, if I were to tell you exactly how to build a website, you would be like, oh, okay, now I know how it needs to be done. Um, but now I need it done. You're going to be like, okay, let's hire Laura and her team to go build that for us because, we're not website builder people, but we see now what we need to do. And so now we understand that we need her help. So what is your win gap? Do you have a natural next step that, and we also kind of talk about this like you want to chunk off the lead magnet from your main offer. So your core offer, like an example of this concept would be a roofer who offers gutter clean for free. So he gets up there and does someone's free gutter cleaning and says, oh, hey, I noticed that you have some loose shingles on your roof. And how old is your roof? Oh, 30 years old. You're probably in need of a new roof. Let me give you a quote. No, so you get that concept is, we're going to solve one little problem for you, but then we're going to open to like a natural next step of where we can see that there's a bigger problem here to solve. Then that's the gap in that problem is likely going to be a little bigger than prospect company wants to break off and chew on their own. So they're going to need some help from you with that. The question every business should ask. Stop asking, what report should we create? And start asking this instead. What problem could we solve for our ideal customer in the next 5 minutes? That question leads to better experiences and offers that feel immediately useful rather than vaguely informative. Better conversations, prospects who arrive pre-qualified and already impressed by your expertise. And then better opportunities, higher quality pipeline with shorter sales cycles and stronger close rates. Because first of all, you're getting them in there and then you're showing them, all of them, how to get value from what you do. And you're giving them those quick wins so they get it. They understand the value. So the key takeaways. Lead magnets aren't disappearing. They're evolving. And the businesses that evolve with them will have a significant competitive advantage. Today's buyers have clear expectations and meeting them is no longer optional. So you want to give them immediate value. Buyers expect results in minutes, not after reading a 40-page PDF. Practical tools, assessments, calculators, scorecards outperform passive content. And then personalized insights, generic advice gets ignored. Tailored insights earn attention and action. And then helpful conversations. AI keeps the dialogue going naturally and at scale. And, there may be some situations where, you're looking for a lead magnet that maybe is not digital. I don't know. Say you're offering say you're offering a software program is your core offer. You might give a free trial. Okay, that's kind of still digital, but they might need to get in there and look at it and work with it a little bit to really understand the value. You could still try and see, like, are there any instant sort of AI tool or assessment kind of lead magnets you can give them in addition to the download or the free trial, I mean. Another instance, like like, I don't know, free first something, or we're going to get on the phone with you. And like people will do, hey, get a free consultation. Like nobody wants a free consultation these days either, because to them it means nothing. Like, okay, they're going to get on the phone and try and sell me something. That's what they hear. So even if you're going to do a free consultation as a lead magnet, you don't want to call it that. You want to frame it in terms of the value you're going to provide for them. What are the results they're going to get? Um, you know, and you can make it look like a product. Hey, get the uh, uh, cybersecurity readiness assessment. Here are all the results we're going to give you in that time you spend with us and what you can expect while we help you solve this problem. We're going to give you instance, we're after this call, we're going to give you steps that you can take to solve your problem. Um, and so you're still giving them something, and hopefully you can do it in like a half hour, 20-minute, half hour call for busy people who don't have time to spend an hour with you, perhaps when they're still not sure if this is the right thing. So just remember to make it a results oriented thing that provides real value. Frame it in terms of the value they're going to receive, and then really deliver the value. Give them your best stuff. So um let's see, a real example of one that we've built. This is an online AI powered website analysis tool that's on the Zebra website that delivers immediate personalized value in minutes. And it will review your website, analyze your current online presence for conversion effectiveness. It will identify opportunities. It surfaces specific areas where your site could perform significantly better. And then it provides personalized, actionable recommendations, tailored, actionable next steps, not generic best practices, but what do you need to do next to improve your website? And so you can check this out. I can hop over here real quick and show this to you. Here we go. So I built this in MindPal, and there's probably a number of ways that you could build something like this, but this is actually in a free AI tools drop down on my website. It's I have just that one right now. I could build out like a whole team of AI instant assistants that answer different questions for people. So what we do here is we enter a URL. So I don't know, let's enter like, I don't know, cisco.com. Is that a website? Let's just pick, okay. Let's just pick a random website. Let's say, oh, well, there we go. Well, it did come up, so then we can, we would enter this. This one asks for the website URL, and then access the URL. Yeah, this one's having issues. Let's do a different one. Cyber security companies near me. Oh, well, we could do the CrowdStrike this here. Well, this seems like this is not a home page. Let's go to here. This is somebody's homepage randomly. So they've got this whole URL set up with their tracking because it's an ad. Let's jump here. Okay, hopefully you're seeing my screen anyway. So you see, I entered the URL. Now I'm going to click continue. So here on my page, I'm telling them, and here exactly what they're going to get. They're going to get, your website leads, build trust, grow, blah, blah, blah. Your site will be reviewed against 6 areas that matter. This is a short for. I tell them who it's for. Your website, why your website matters, exactly what's working and what's not. Stop guessing, stop hoping. Okay, so back up here. So then I ask them to share their contact details. So it's going to ask them for their it's going to ask them to agree to terms and conditions, which is next. Yeah, so I just have to enter my first name and I don't know, just my random email. And then it's going to give me my results. So and now it's going to do the actual analysis on the website, and it's going to tell me what can be improved on that website. Then I ask to consent to the terms and conditions. Just because I want to make sure that I'm not collecting anyone's information that hasn't agreed. So I agree. And so now it's working on my website analysis, and it's going to spit that out and tell me all the things I can improve on my website. And it is trained on the back end with all of the things that I would evaluate on a website. Boom. Executive summary. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a little about the company that we notice. However, while the foundations, and I'm not, while the foundation is rock solid, there are significant opportunities to modernize the user experience and optimize the conversion funnel. Currently, the site leans heavily on a traditional request to consult model, which may miss out on prospects who are in the early research phase. By refining mobile performance, blah, 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 detailed breakdown, first impression, rating, strong, reasoning, mobile readiness, rating, average, suggested improvements. We're not just telling them, like, here's the problem, but, like, here's what you need to do about it. Lead capture, needs some work. Here's what to do. Accessibility needs work. Here's what to do. Speed and performance needs some work. Here's what to do. Trust signals and call to action, CTA. Strong. So that was good. But here's how you can make it even better. Steps, quick wins. Here's what to do first. Do these first. Strategic fixes, long-term, develop magnets, performance audit. Are you ready to boost your content? And then I give them a way to book a call with my company so that we can talk about how to put these things into place for them. So this is the win gap. It tells them where the gaps are and then tells them how to solve those gaps and then says, would you like some help with that? So, this is in a quick little AI magnet that, now that this person has opted in, they have, sent a message and blah, blah, blah. Now, you can make an automatic, message to them with an AI agent, chat agent, and say, hey, do you have any questions? We noticed you just downloaded the lead magnet, or you just, engaged with our instant website analysis agent. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to your website or your marketing, or whatever the next question would be? Get them into a conversation and then book them into a call automatically. And that way your calendar is filled with interest in your services without you having to do all of the chasing. All right. Okay. Oh, hang on. Okie dokie. Okay, I'm back. All right, so if you want to try that that instant tool, if you go to zebra.ai, let me pop back over here real fast. This takes a long time sometimes. Just a minute. Okay. So if you would like to try that tool out for yourself, you're at zebra/instant-ai-website-analysis. And or you can just go to zbra.ai and click the free AI tools drop down to an AI website analysis right there. And you can try it out and see how you like those results. And then if you feel like you could maybe do a better job at your company, maybe you could improve the way you're bringing in leads, or have a better plan for how to give people that instant value and those quick wins, then type the word leads in the comments and let's connect, and I'll show you how to hop into a call together and we can talk about specifically for you how we could improve the way that you're bringing in leads. Maybe it's AI lead magnets. Maybe it's a different strategy than what you're doing right now, or maybe it's just adding to what you're doing or improving it. So I would love to hop on a call with you, talk about how that's working for you at your business, and help give you some quick wins. All right. So again, drop the word leads in the comments if you'd like to hop on a call and chat about how this could work better for your company. Okay, so I'm just hopping back over to so you can see me instead of infinity mirror that's probably going on right now. For some reason, it always takes a minute with this. Not sure why. Anyway, so all right, so let's just hang on 2 seconds while it comes back. Anyway, my name is Laura Kamrath. I am CEO of Z, and we help companies all the time. We see valuable products and services, but they need a better way of helping reach people who need their help. We build modern marketing system to help them reach more people, generate more leads, convert more sales so they can make more money in their companies. All right, so again, drop the word leads if you'd like to hop in together and have a chat, and I'll tell you how you can do that. And again, if this was valuable for you, give it a like. If you have a question, please drop it in the comments. And again, please share this with network if you know somebody who would benefit from this conversation. Helps us engage better as a community. And I will be back next Wednesday. I go live on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and I would love to have a chat with you or your team. Would love to have you hop back in with me next Wednesday, and we'll be talking about more marketing topics, how to get more out of your marketing, especially in the digital age and the age of AI. And I look forward to seeing you then. All right. Have a great week.